In episode 37, Sustain Year-Round PCI Compliance Without Audit Fatigue, the focus turns from once-a-year sprints to steady motion. The idea is to make compliance ordinary, like payroll or patching, so control evidence never feels like a surprise hunt. By spreading tasks evenly across months and tying them to normal business rhythms, you build muscle memory instead of burnout. Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard, PCI DSS, calls for continuous control and validation, not annual panic. The best organizations approach it like breathing, steady, automatic, and measurable. Continuous compliance lets you walk into an assessment already holding what assessors need, not scrambling to reconstruct a year. That rhythm frees energy for improvement instead of survival, creating a calm, predictable cycle that protects both data and people. Turning yearly obligations into short, recurring tasks is the secret to endurance. Most requirements under PCI DSS like quarterly scans, access reviews, or log monitoring already have built-in timing. The key is to treat those intervals as living work streams instead of deadlines. A 12-month requirement can become a monthly check for policy drift, a quarterly system validation, or a half-year evidence refresh. When teams see compliance as part of normal cadence, they stop deferring small duties into big crunches. Each month closes with a few deliverables marked complete, leaving little to pile up. This approach also surfaces gaps early, allowing fixes to blend into normal maintenance instead of emergency recovery. Small steps done often replace giant leaps done late, and stress melts away. Every recurring task needs a face and a calendar slot. Named owners keep controls alive. Backups prevent gaps when someone changes roles, and due dates keep rhythm visible. Assigning ownership turns abstract compliance into human accountability. It makes control operation traceable. A simple roster or dashboard showing each control, its owner, and next due date gives leaders immediate insight into readiness. Pair that with visible coverage metrics, how many tasks are on time, overdue, or blocked, and you create a self-correcting loop. People respect transparency when it feels fair and consistent. Ownership transforms compliance from paperwork into teamwork because everyone can see how their small piece supports the full cardholder data environment. Automation changes fatigue into flow. Screenshots, logs, tickets, and system reports can be captured automatically with timestamps stored in a structured evidence repository. Routine jobs, like exporting access control lists, verifying scan completions, or confirming patch levels, can be scripted once and scheduled thereafter. Each automation produces artifacts formatted for reuse by assessors, reducing the need for manual formatting later. Automated capture does not replace judgment, but it handles repetition better than humans ever could. When evidence creation happens quietly in the background, your team can focus on exceptions and analysis. Over time, these small automations shrink the energy cost of staying compliant to almost nothing, making every control sustainable. An evidence calendar brings all those moving pieces together. It maps required activities to specific months, aligning with both assessor sampling windows and internal review periods. Items like quarterly vulnerability scans or semi-annual firewall reviews appear on predictable dates. Aligning due dates with assessor expectations saves rework later, since artifacts will already match the timeframes they check. The calendar should live in a shared system visible to everyone who contributes evidence, not a static spreadsheet. Each entry can link directly to a folder, ticket, or dashboard that holds the proof. When a new quarter begins, teams simply work down the visible list. That constant visibility keeps energy smooth instead of spiking at audit season. Many internal reviews turn theory into readiness. Once a quarter, mirror an assessor's checklist using their style of questioning and expected language. Walk through sampled evidence and note whether it meets the formal control intent. These rehearsals teach teams how evidence will be read, not just produced. They also reveal weak spots, missing approvals, vague logs, or screenshots without dates before a real assessment exposes them. Keep the atmosphere constructive. It is rehearsal, not inspection. When you practice the tone and rigor of a qualified security assessor, or QSA, session, you build fluency that makes the real conversation faster and calmer. Every rehearsal tightens both competence and confidence. Exceptions are inevitable, but tracking them transparently keeps them harmless. Each deviation should include an expiration date, an approval record, and a visible remediation milestone. A lightweight dashboard can show all open exceptions at a glance, sorted by due date or business owner. Expired items trigger reminders automatically, ensuring they never quietly persist. This system treats exceptions as controlled risk, not forgotten risk. The audit trail, who approved, why, until when, becomes part of your living evidence library. When assessors see clear control over exceptions, they recognize maturity rather than weakness. The habit of closing exceptions on time becomes one of the clearest signals of sustainable compliance. Scope drift is a silent killer of compliance, so it needs constant watch. New systems, payment flows, service providers, or integrations can extend cardholder data boundaries without formal notice. Monthly change reviews or architecture sync meetings should include a quick scope check. Did any new system store, process, or transmit card data, or connect to one that does? A small checklist embedded in change management ensures that question is never skipped. When drift is caught early, it can be classified, segmented, or excluded before it surprises you at assessment time. Keeping scope visible means your evidence stays valid and your controls stay matched to reality instead of last year's map. Training keeps the people side fresh. Instead of long annual sessions, use micro-modules, 5-minute refreshers tied to real findings or recent incidents. For example, if a quarterly review found weak password discipline, send a short module explaining strong authentication in the company's context. If a vendor missed encryption validation, share a quick explainer on secure transmission paths. These bite-sized lessons stick better and cost less attention. Each one can be logged as completed evidence, satisfying PCI DSS awareness requirements. When training feels relevant and digestible, participation rises naturally and cultural fatigue fades. Governance forums work best when decisions are easy to make. Prepare short packets before each meeting. Current metrics, top risks, and the few decisions that need signatures or funding. Keep the data visual but plain. Trend lines, on-time rates, exception counts. By pre-packaging discussion points, you reduce wasted talk and increase focus. The board or security steering group can then approve, defer, or reassign within minutes. This efficiency signals that compliance is managed as part of business governance, not a separate technical burden. Smooth governance meetings mean fewer escalations later, and compliance becomes a shared business rhythm instead of a seasonal disruption. Policies age quietly unless reviewed after change. When an outage, merger, or technology adoption shifts how systems behave, revisit the affected policies soon after. For instance, a move to cloud hosting may alter data retention rules or encryption key management practices. A short policy review checklist ensures the text matches current controls and architecture. Update version numbers and reissue approvals so auditors see continuity. Treat each update as both maintenance and communication, proof that the organization adapts while staying controlled. Keeping policies synchronized with reality prevents surprises at assessment time and shows auditors that change is managed, not accidental. A living risk register connects insight to accountability. Each risk entry should name its control link, owner, treatment plan, and validation test. When new risks appear, through findings, vendor changes, or internal audits, they slide naturally into this structure. Linking risks directly to controls keeps discussions grounded. Mitigation is visible, measurable, and owned. Review the register at least quarterly, marking items retired, transferred, or still open. This habit closes the loop between daily operations and strategic oversight. It also demonstrates continuous improvement, one of the strongest indicators of compliance maturity under PCI DSS. Pre-assembling the attestation of compliance and report on compliance skeletons turns yearly reporting into a drop-in exercise. Create folders or templates for each requirement with placeholder text that matches the assessor's expected structure. As evidence arrives during the year, drop it directly into the right slot. Over time, the skeleton fills itself. By the time the assessor begins fieldwork, most sections already contain current data, screenshots, or logs. This living draft shortens final preparation from weeks to hours. It also ensures your evidence aligns with reporting language, eliminating last-minute reformatting. The more you maintain the structure, the more effortless each annual cycle becomes. To close the loop, build a 90-day compliance runway that outlines the next quarter's focus areas and assigns first-week tasks. This plan acts like a rolling horizon. While one quarter ends, the next begins without pause. The first week should confirm key dates, refresh ownership assignments, and update the evidence calendar. Each small act signals momentum. When the runway never ends, fatigue never peaks, because work spreads naturally through the year. Sustained compliance becomes culture, not campaign. The PCI DSS framework rewards that steady discipline by making every audit a confirmation of habits already lived, not a disruption to fear. Thanks for listening. For more audio courses, daily newsletters, and more, please visit baremetalcyber.com.